and you have it like open all the way, like Scarface style. That's what you look like.
It's a zip up, you prick, and I don't know if I want to wear it all the way up like this.
You should, because now you look like you're ready to do something.
Let's do this.
Oh shit, we started.
All right. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Jake's just over here talking shit.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Go
Natural. So, welcome back to another episode of Wisco Fanatics Friday Night Packer special. We have Simon with us tonight. No Bryant. Fuck that guy.
He's fired.
Facts.
Yeah, he's fired. So, I wanted to start the show like this. I was thinking about this today. And there was a football game last night between the Raiders and the Rams. And the Rams looked freaking dead. They looked dead. They had a quarterback that was there for 2 weeks who's been getting passed around the league.
No, dude, 3 days.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he got there on Tuesday.
He got there on Tuesday, but he played on Thursday.
Yeah.
So
2 days. You said 2 weeks.
Oh, sorry. Meant 2 days. Sorry.
Okay.
It's been a long 2 weeks. Yeah, he's been there for a few days. He comes in, leads a 98-yard touchdown drive to win the game. Like, literally one of the most improbable things I think I've ever seen in my life in an NFL game. So, for all the people that are out there writing the Packers off out of their playoff chances, just know, like Tyler and I have said a million times, if it's going to happen, you know, nothing's impossible. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. So, even if the chance is 1% or 2%, there's still a chance. And we have Aaron freaking Rodgers, and his thumb should be getting healthier as we go on. Christian Watson's looking like a star. We have Romeo Doubs trending in the right direction. I mean, we have so many things to be excited for right now. I will go over a stat that I got a meme the other day that I was going over, and it talks about our playoff chances if a couple scenarios happen. Now, obviously, we're going to need some help, but we'll get to that conversation when we get there. But what did you guys think of that game last night? Did you watch that, Simon?
Dude, I had to be up at 3:45 this morning, so
that's
enough. I watched about half of it and then I fell asleep.
So you watched the half where the Raiders were doing good.
That nothing happened. That was
one of those scenarios where like you go to bed and you're like, all right, we'll see how much the Raiders won by tomorrow, and then it's like, oh, they lost. LOL.
Yeah, that's what I woke up to this morning.
It was like their fourth game where they led by 13 or more points and lost.
It was the fourth game where they led at halftime. Or
it was something about
double-digit lead at halftime or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how disgusting! It was like the most since 1930 or something.
Holy shit! I did not see that. Actually, that is actually.
I forgot
it's just another thing. That's another one of those things where like it might only happen once every 100 years, but it happened this year. So
it happens,
you know, all that stuff that can only happen 1 or 2% of the time. Why not 2022 to be that 1 or 2%?
Yeah, why not us, right? Why not us?
Why not?
There's literally been teams that have snuck into the playoffs under 500 and won a playoff game.
What was
whoever wins the
NFC
South is going to be under 500.
What was the Seahawks and Saints like? This was a while back, probably like 2012 or something.
Yeah,
where the Seahawks won their division at 7-9, and they played the Saints in New Orleans, I believe. No, it was in Seattle. It was
fair division winner, you get a home game.
Yeah, you're right. But still, like, shoot, I'll take a fucking playoff game.
Yeah, shit. You never know, right?
Tim's cheering for the Lions.
Tim, I am not cheering for the Lions since they're technically ahead of us.
Honestly, at this point, like, we're not catching the division, so like the Vikings might as well win out.
I just want to sneak in, so who cares? If the Vikings want to have false hope and go into it and lose their first game, let them do it. I would love to see
San Fran in the first round so badly.
I don't know anymore. If they still had Jimmy G, I really think that San Fran would freaking pound the Vikings. I really do, but I don't know. Maybe we'll see what's up with Purdy. I agree, fuck the Vikings, but I'm not cheering for any team that's ahead of us, technically, since we lost to them. And I know we play them again, but we need them to lose as many games as possible before that point.
Right.
So with that being said, Isaac said, Bustin feels like throwing to us like Jay Cutler. He does, and that's a good thing for us, right?
That's not the only passing of the guard that we're going to in the Bears-Packers rivalry. It's Randall Cobb again anymore. Now it's Christian Watson again.
Oh, don't go there, man. You can take over if you want, buddy. Go ahead.
Christian Watson is the first star, so go ahead. Simon's got our first star of the week is Christian Watson.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, it was a couple late touchdowns, right? Like we were kind of stalling out on offense a lot, and it didn't look very pretty to kind of start the game. But yeah, man, the last month for Christian Watson has been unreal. I was just typing it out to kind of argue with someone, but 300 and some yards receiving, 50 yards rushing, and 8 total touchdowns. How nasty is that?
That's
Turn down for
insane.
Watson. Nice. That's clever. I like it, Isaac.
And
I'm gonna have some stuff on Watson when we talk about the touchdowns in the recap, but
I'm sitting here like kind of trying to be conservative every week. Like, okay, eventually he's gonna slow down, right?
Right.
Like even after his 3 touchdown game in against the Cowboys, you're just like, when is it gonna slow down? When is it gonna slow down, bro? His month has just been insane.
He went 3-2-1-2 in the last 4 weeks on touchdown.
And I forget which someone had Christian Watson's touchdown, so I'm not trying to take away.
I got both of them, so
yeah, I'm not gonna take that away from you.
And we're gonna talk about him as he stands for Rookie of the Year, where we think he stands.
Yeah,
too. So we're gonna talk a lot about him today.
But just what another stellar game for the young guy. That's 4 weeks in a row. I think we've had it on our top 3.
Oh, easily.
He was been number 1 a few times. Obviously, the 3 touchdown game, and has giving us Rodgers the fountain.
Every game Watson has, it's giving Rodgers the fountain of youth. I mean, it gives him something else to enjoy to play with. You know, if Watson was healthy all year, he'd be Rookie of the Year beyond what Olave is at now. I mean,
it's tough to say.
Wait till you hear the odds from Caesar Sportsbook. So I'm going to say, because that's the one that I rely on the most.
It is tough to say because he didn't have training camp, right? And he didn't play in any of the preseason games. So it's tough to see how much he would have grasped out of the playbook and stuff.
The Bills game is really the only one that I'm bummed about because he got knocked out of that one really early.
Yeah, that was the ref decision, right? Where it looked like he got concussed and it was right after
the team kept him out because he got the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, okay,
they wanted to make sure because that was the week after his concussion, so they wanted to make sure that he wasn't concussed, but it was actually that he had the wind knocked out of him. So that was more of a precautionary thing.
That was a bummer.
So, yeah. All right, Jake got our second star.
Yeah. Newly found dad strength for A.J. Dillon. I mean, good God, this guy is just a monster now. 18 carries, 93 yards, a touchdown. That's a 5.2 average. And he had 3 receptions on 3 targets for 26 yards. That's an 8.7 yard average. So I'm going to get into a couple of Dillon plays. I picked a couple of Dillon plays for offense, so I don't want to go too crazy talking about him. But, man, A.J. Dillon is looking really, really good right now.
Cody, I'm going to write that down. Put negative comments that people made about Christian Watson before his highlights.
Ooh. I like that, Cody.
All right, listen, because so people like our show and they like our page because we are positive focused. So positivity, optimistic, that's the way that we do our analysis. Now, what we also tend to do because we want I can't say that we can force people to change, but we want people to recognize the need for change when it comes to negativity. So we call out that negativity as well. So it might sound a little harsh and it might sound like, it's not very positive to be calling people out. It's also not positive to be just trashing and bashing players all the time. So
great.
We're also calling out that negativity. So just so that people can realize that there's different points of view that you can have with it. So
I feel like you can be negative too, and also like I don't know, like when you guys are at work and something bad happens, you don't sit there and just I don't know, maybe this is just I don't know what you guys do for a living necessarily, but when something bad happens, you offer a palpable change to that problem as well. So I think I was having this argument with someone last week or something, and he's like, it's not whining, it's criticism. And I think there's a very different way you word things when you criticize something rather than you just complaining or whining about it.
Right. And the bottom, the differentiator between that is that one of them is just complaining and putting the circumstances on outside sources, whereas the other is looking for ways to improve in the future. And that's the way that we try to do it. So we look for the ways to improve. All right. So our third star is Alan Lazard. I have a handful of underrated performers. That's just the way that I did it this week because I couldn't pick one. So I have 3 underrated performers after Alan Lazard. So Alan Lazard, 5 catches for 67 yards. 2 of his 5 catches were on third downs. Just very consistent, Alan Lazard. On the season, he's got 45 catches. 36 of them are for first downs. 5 of them are for touchdowns.
All right.
So out of 45 catches, 41 of them either resulted in a first down or a touchdown.
That is an insane stat. I mean,
wait, I have Watson's too.
He's looking more like Lazard of last year, which is kind of what we expected with this offense. Is they're starting to hit their groove now.
Yeah,
it's just that
we're about to get Romeo Dobbs back on Monday night, and I'll be at that game. Oh, yeah. I can't wait for that game.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're going. I'll be sick.
Yeah. All right. So, underrated performers. I have 3. One is Keyshawn Nixon, and Jake's going to talk about special teams. So I'm only going to say 2 things about him: that he had the game-sealing interception, and that Rodgers gave him a ton of credit by saying that he used to. And he wasn't trying to throw shade at anybody when he said it. He's like, I used to hope that when guys caught the ball in the end zone, that they would stay in, take a knee, not bring it out. He said, when I see Key, referring to Keyshawn Nixon, when I say Key back there, I want him to bring it out. That's the difference that Keyshawn Nixon is making on special teams. Jake's going to talk more about him later.
Yeah.
I also wanted to throw out Dean Lowry for blocking a field goal. Just wanted to give him credit for that. And then Zach Tom, I feel, needs to be in this conversation.
Yes, very nicely done. Very nicely done.
Rodgers was not sacked once this week, and Zach Tom didn't know he was starting until Friday.
Oh, my God.
Remember, Bakhtiari.
Yeah, because David Bakhtiari had an emergency surgery.
And his girlfriend had a baby.
Yeah, that too. So that was probably a stressful weekend for her. Damn.
Yeah, God. Yeah. My water broke. He's in surgery.
Yeah. My water broke. Mine did too. That's your appendix. Shit. All right. So, Simon, what 2 plays stood out to you from the Packers offense against the Bears defense?
So the one I want to talk about the most was I love the call to go for it for 2 after Christian Watson scored. So they were up 26-19. It really makes sense in essence. Instead of just kicking the field goal or the PAT, go for 2, stick them up 9, and that's a 2-possession game. So even if they get the ball back, they have to go down, score, and then they have to get the ball back and then kick a field goal to win the game. And I think there was like 4 minutes and 20 seconds or so left, if I'm not mistaken. So I love the call. And also the play call was gorgeous. Just play action, boot, Mercedes Lewis open. He just wide open. He just stuck it, wide open. So I don't know. I loved it. I love the call. I love going up 2 scores, and that was basically. It felt like the dagger to me. Like there was just no way they were coming back.
There was 151 left.
Oh, 151 left. I think it was like 4
I thought there
minutes
was more time too.
So did I.
It was 4 minutes when we got the ball back.
When we got the ball, that's what it was.
Okay. Yep.
And I lost my train of thought.
What's your other play?
I was just gonna say where rather if we just didn't go for 2, then that leaves the door open for the Bears just go for 2 if they score for the win. So I love the aggressive play calling, and it seemed like I was reading an article that said their special game coordinator assistant or something, I forget his actual position, was in Matt's ear about going for 2 like the whole time while they were in timeout waiting to score. So yeah, I kind of love it.
I'm in.
All
right. What else?
Can you guys go? I forget what you guys had. So
I got Watson's touchdown.
I got a couple things written down. Jake? What'd you get?
I'll
you
just
can
go.
Yeah,
I'll go, and
That's
then
what
we'll
I'm
come
saying.
back
Just
to
go.
you. All right. So the first one I'm going to talk about is a play that I was watching, and I literally was just sitting there in my living room. I'm like, holy shit, that was sexy. Like, that's literally how I described the play. And we've seen the pony package a lot this year, and we expected that, right? The two running backs right next to Rodgers, on either side. They put them on both sides, right? So out of the pony package, the versatility is just insane. We've seen fake handoffs to Jones, throws to Dillon's, vice versa. We've seen play actions to Dillon, and then they just swing it over to Jones right away. I mean, there's just a number of things that you could do to create mismatches in this. And the play that they ran that I'm talking about is they fake hand it off to A.J. Dillon, and he flips it to Aaron Jones. And I'm just like, oh, hold on a second now. That was – he did it in like – I don't know why I thought it was so sexy. Maybe because Rodgers is just like – he's just so like the master at this shit, man. Like he just makes it look so smooth and so easy. And it's like when he does a great play action, he fakes out the camera.
He fools the camera. Yeah.
It's like, God damn, that was a good ass play action. He got that man from way up there, and he has like an eagle's eye view, So it's like for him to fake that and flip it, like I love that versatility because now it's just getting the wheels turning in those linebackers' heads. Like I don't know what's coming right now, but I know that either one of these two motherfuckers are getting the ball. He's running past me and he's running me over. So pick your poison, really.
And it's a hesitation too that it creates.
Right. And they started, and Tyler's going to talk about this too. They started doing, fake jet sweeps out of the pony package now. So I mean, good God, people are talking about Rodgers retiring. I was just having a discussion on it in another chat. Seeing all this versatility with all these different formations and the offense starting to really get going in the last couple of weeks. I don't care about opponents. I don't want to hear that bullshit. Whether who we're playing or not, we're starting to get going. That's why I personally think Rodgers isn't going to retire. That's just what I'm going to say about that. So my next play is the A.J. Dillon touchdown run. And I'm actually going to go back to a comment, and it was from Isaac, and he said Lazard's blocking is so underrated. You want to talk about whose blocking is underrated? It's Sammy Watkins.
Sammy Watkins, yes, sir.
Bro, he had two massive blocks in this game from 2 touchdown runs.
Yep.
Just straight up man-on-man, like, get over here, little man. And this play starts out with a stack with Watson and Watkins up top, right? Watkins ahead of Watson. And this is where I started talking about the jet sweep fakes, which set up the later touchdown. So on this play, you have the stack up top. You have Tanyan close to Nyman on the line, and you have Lazard one-on-one down low. So if you look at the coverage, you can tell that it's man defense. So automatically, Rodgers is looking at this, and he's just like, hold on a sec. This shit might work. And, there was just an article put up by Wisconsin Sports Heroics that, he's trying to sabotage. I don't think he's trying to sabotage, you freaking moron. So, anyways, he puts Watson in motion, fake jet sweep, and he hands it off to A.J. Dillon. The entire line is perfectly blocking. And I'm so glad that you brought up Zach Tom because he was the first human I noticed on this play. Just manhandling whoever's on the edge for the Bears. And then you look at Sammy Watkins, and you guys ever seen the video of Vince Lombardi where he says, you got a block here, Chris Valley, and that's literally what you saw in action for A.J. Dillon. And then he's just one-on-one with a guy that's 50 pounds lighter than him, and obviously you saw what happened. He tried to go for a piggyback ride instead of tackling him. So, I mean, what a great play call. Watson is already striking fear with even handing the ball off to him.
Oh, yeah.
Look at what that creates.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. That was a little long-winded. I apologize for that, but God, it was beautiful to watch.
All right. So I'm going to respond to a couple comments before I go. First one is Isaac's, who said they're going to deconstruct Soldier Field after this year and replace it with a Rodgers statue. What they should do is when they're ready to demolish it, Rodgers should get to push the button that sets off the dynamite. And then Bernard, I wanted to adjust a couple of his comments. He said Rodgers looked old. I don't think he looked old. Honestly, what I noticed with this game is that Rodgers looked like he was having fun.
Yes.
And then Watson is a beast. You're not going to hear any arguments from us on that. We can see it. So for me, I have 2 plays, the Watson touchdowns. First one he scored on 4th and 4. So he had 1 4th down conversion and 1 3rd down conversion. And Rodgers talked about Chicago having safety help most of the game. So like Jake said, that Christian Watson is already to the point where he's drawing extra attention.
Mhm.
He's 10 games into his career, and he's already drawing safety help over the top. Now, when you're in the end zone, obviously you can't put any help over the top because there's a big white line that's out of bounds.
True.
So, it helps. It helps Alan Lazard, which is actually something that Bryant brought up during the game, was that Watson's speed and extra attention going to him helps Lazard, which helps the offense. So, it's the kind of question that, begs to be answered, which is, if Watson was healthy all year, would the offense be better? Would some of these games be different? The one game that I will say off the top of my head that I would say would have been a win instead of a loss is the Commanders game, just by being able to get the ball moving a little bit more. But other than that, I'm not going to go back and, look at, what would this game have done? What would this game have done? What would this game have done? Bernard Rodgers is going to start until the Packers are mathematically eliminated, and even after that, he still might. We're listening to Goody talk about Jordan Love and say that we've seen enough to know what to do with his option. That, in my opinion, tells me that they're already picking up his option regardless.
Yep.
All right. And then we get to second touchdown. They ran the fake jet sweep twice, actually. They ran it once with Watson coming from Rodgers left to right, and they did the fake, touch pass, and then Rodgers handed it off to Dillon for the first one that scored a touchdown, and then the second one he handed off to Aaron Jones, and I think it was like a 7 or 8 yard run. Then they went back to it again, and they run it to Watson, and he's just absolutely gone. And so he's actually tied with Aaron Jones with 2 rushing touchdowns on the season. That feels wrong.
It's just so funny to me because no one would think that going into the season.
We definitely didn't. I think we had.
Do you want to hear it? Did you see a stat that Zach Lowe put out, bro? Did you see it?
Maybe.
Aaron Jones has 1 carry inside the 5 yard line. Or whatever. I was like, that is not okay.
I want to know how many plays we've ran inside the 5 because, thinking of all the touchdowns the Packers have scored this season, a lot of them are not within the 5 yard line.
Well, I can tell you the Lions game, yeah, freaking Ken.
Yeah,
that might be the game he had the 1 carry
for negative -1 yard too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would have to go back and look.
Christian Watson has now scored 9 touchdowns on the season. 6 of them are in the left corner of the end zone. That is the Christian corner. 6 out of his 9 touchdowns are in the left corner. That's the Christian corner.
And we coined that, so nobody steal that shit because we came up with it.
This guy. All right. Go ahead, Simon. What else do you want to say about the offense?
I think, it's not really the offense necessarily, but it gets the ball moving. One thing that I kind of mentioned, it was really interesting to see Nixon taking every single kickoff out of the it was 9 yards deep, and I'm pretty sure the Packers just told him to go. If you catch the ball, just go.
Yep.
And that's what it seems like. And sometimes it worked, right? Sometimes you got past the 25, and sometimes
he's got the Kyle Korver ultra green light.
Yeah. But I thought it was very interesting to see him take it out of the end zone, just no matter where he caught it.
All right. Should I just go to it, Tyler? Should I just go to that stat I found?
Do it.
All right. So this is also from Zach Krause. This guy just gets all the stats, man. He's crazy. One of my favorite people in the Twitter.
Yeah, I follow him too.
Keyshawn Nixon ranks 2nd in the NFL in kick return yards, 617. Trails leader by 3 yards. He hasn't even been returning the entire year for us. 5th in kickoff return average, 24.7. Trails leader by 1.1. Would rank 3rd in punt return average, 14 if he had enough to qualify. He also is 1st in PFF return grade. Bro, if this man is not re-signed, also he's pretty good at slot corner. Just wanted to add that value in there as well.
Yeah.
If he's not re-signed, I'm gonna be a little upset.
Did you see the defense grades I sent you?
I did, dude.
We should fire Goody anyways, even though he brought in good players.
Yeah. People are just stupid, man.
Isaac, Amari Rodgers is going to have a good chance to play this weekend because Brandon Cooks and Nico Collins are both out for the Texans. So Amari Rodgers might get some burn this weekend for Houston. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about the offense?
No.
All right. Let's do some defense. Simon, what did you see from the Packers defense that stood out to you?
So I kind of just took both, I guess, plays and just crumpled it into one. I think it was just Jair Alexander's up and down day. He was, heavily ridiculed and by a lot of Packer fans.
Listen, all right. So I talked about it 2 weeks ago that I wanted to see more defensive back aggressiveness. And 2 weeks ago, I talked about defensive back aggressiveness. The EQ play, Jair tried to jump a route on a break, and that's how EQ got behind him. That
was in the N'Keal Harry play, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that the EQ?
No, EQ literally just ran straight.
Yeah.
Okay. So, one of the two that he gave up, he tried to jump the route, and then it was like a double move, and that's how the receiver got by him. Like that, the fact that he still got back into the play to make the tackle and it wasn't just like a super deep touchdown, like I'm honestly I'm not mad at it. Like the EQ throw was like a perfect throw, and the N'Keal Harry catch was a little underthrown, but that was a great catch. Like I give props to N'Keal Harry. He's had a rough go of his career so far, so good for him. And the Bears only got 3 points out of it. So, I'm not super mad at it, especially for Jair taking a chance to try to make a winning play. And It didn't end up turning into a losing play, obviously. So that obviously helps. See, David agrees with me. It was the EQ play.
It was definitely the N'Keal Harry play. But it's okay. You guys can go check your eyes after this.
I'll watch it again. I thought it was the EQ play.
No, N'Keal Harry, he tried to jump the route. And that's how N'Keal Harry got beat. But that's how he got beat by N'Keal Harry. But EQ literally just ran straight. At least that's what I saw. I don't know, Simon. Did you see the same thing?
I don't know. Now I'm starting to second guess myself.
I don't know. We're all second. Yeah. All right.
Give me
either or.
Give me 1 second. I can
back to Simon. I'll just go back to Simon. Let him keep talking about Jair.
Okay, I will look for it in a second. But yeah, it was just his up and down play, including. But like I was gonna agree with that, and that's kind of along the lines of what I was gonna say is I don't even think it was really a double move. I think Jair jumped the route, and either of the wide receivers that I'm gonna look up in a second noticed that he jumped it, and then Justin Fields was kind of in scramble mode because the time already kind of went by, so they just noticed no safety help over the top, so he just ran. So I mean, good play by the wide receiver. And then man, I really think it was EQ now.
No.
I really think it was.
It was N'Keal Harry because N'Keal Harry caught it and he fell on his back. I remember watching that play and I was like, "Oh damn, that shit had to hurt when he fell on his back, man." He fell straight on that shit. And that was the one where Jair was running really hard to try to get back into it because he tried to jump it at first. I'm passionate about it now. It's over now. Now I'm into this.
What quarter was that in?
That was it was their last field goal that they had. It was the third quarter.
So the N'Keal Harry play we blocked that field goal on that drive.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh yeah, you're right about that.
Now look at
it. It was N'Keal Harry. I swear to God, it was N'Keal Harry. I swear it was. Because I remember the EQ. He literally just ran straight. And you were talking about the double move, and I think the double move was Harry. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. We win the game.
It was on. Okay, so I think it was EQ because it was a third down play, and Jair went to jump the route at the sticks, and then he just ran a go after Jair jumped the route.
I mean, he gave up 2 passes, so it's one of them. I got a 50-50 either way.
Yeah, I mean,
He beat EQ on another one
right,
that
He
he
did.
kind of left out to
anyways,
dry.
tomato potato, you know. uh, but on the bright side, even yeah. So like, I love seeing Jair's aggressiveness, you know, to try and jump routes and get these turnovers for the team. But on the brighter side, he did break up a really good wide receiver screen on the outside. I think it was to Velus Jones.
You guys are getting old. Well, these two are both older than me, so whatever.
What does that mean?
None of us can remember anything.
It's been a
remember.
long week, man.
No, Claypool does not exist.
Claypool does not exist. Well,
He's
he
just
didn't
a-
end up.
he's
He
just
didn't
a
end up
hold
with a
for
dud.
second pick.
He didn't end
He
up.
wasn't. He wasn't. He wasn't.
What did he have? Like 1 for 17?
Did he have 2?
He had.
He had 2.
No, he had 5 for 28.
5?
5 for 28.
He caught 5 passes.
I think
Yeah.
he caught 2 of them
No,
that got blown up on screens. So I think
no
he had
fuck.
2 that were negative.
I do not remember him catching 5 passes. That is insane.
I do remember at least 2 of them.
I remember like one on the
Packers
left
blew up
sideline.
2 screens behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. One of them was
Right.
Jair.
One of
Yeah,
them was
Jair's
Jair. Yep.
Don't throw screens on Jair, by the way. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't fucking work. I wanted to say something
and
about Claypool.
Claypool had a fumble. Just throwing that.
Oh
out there.
yeah,
Oh, and the fumble.
did.
Yep.
He did.
Just throwing that out there.
I wanted to say something about Claypool. I think it's gonna be fucking hilarious when the Steelers draft a wide receiver better than Claypool with their fucking second round pick.
Bro, that argument I was having with that one dude. All right, so this dude, remember that? Did you see that?
Yes, I saw it.
This dude, okay, so everyone else, this dude was arguing that the Packers would have 3 more wins if they traded for Chase Claypool.
Oh,
I just thought that was the most absurd thing I've ever heard in my life. I was like, where are you
5
getting
for 28
this?
with a long of 15, David said for Claypool.
I think the 15 was the one where he
It
fumbled.
was the one he fumbled.
That was
on.
when he fumbled on.
Yeah.
I remember that now. God, I really did not remember him catching 5 passes. That's sad.
Like I said, I think 2 of them were screens for like -3 or 4 yards.
Yeah.
Jair blew one up, and I think Rasul Douglas blew the other one up. It was like a 3rd and 4.
So the EQ pass was in the first quarter.
Yep.
Okay.
Because that was early.
So whichever one that was.
So Jair got the last laugh is the important thing.
Agreed. And then so moving on. I'm trying to think so hard. Anyways,
Yeah, hurt yourself, bud.
I know.
I will just send you the video.
brain.
I already found it on YouTube, so you're welcome.
Did you?
Yes, bro. It's right here.
Did
I'll
you
send
send it in the chat? Let me look at it real quick. But yeah, and then he ended up getting the last laugh. Now, while it was a really good interception by Jair, right? He jumped a ball. It was kind of a lazy route by EQ. He came
Kind of a lazy throw by Fields, too.
It was all I agree. I don't think maybe it was a late throw or he was expecting EQ to come back towards it more. But whatever the case, it was good to see Jair go out on a high note after getting crapped on for 3/4 of the game from Packer fans. Because if you don't play perfect as a cornerback, you're garbage, I guess. And that's the other thing I don't get is like cornerback has to be one of the most difficult positions to play in football. Like probably right behind quarterback. I would probably make that argument.
I could see that.
Like instead of being proactive about something, everything's reactive.
And you have to play it perfectly or you're getting flagged too.
You're getting flagged or you're getting burned.
Yeah. So, and then the internet is the worst place. The worst fucking place after giving up yards or losing a game. Yeah. Like, dude, imagine if Jair didn't get that in, it was gonna be a bad day for him, bro.
Agreed. So I don't know. Every now and like I think we had Alexander on our top 3 like 3 or 4 weeks in a row at one point.
He was definitely in the conversation.
So I don't. You got to understand that cornerback they're gonna have an up and down games.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the nature of the position.
I agree with that.
So I'll take Alexander on our team every day of the week.
Patrick Taylor has more lives than a cat. Patrick Taylor, he's Juwan Winfrey at running back, honestly.
True.
Like, he's the guy we call up when we don't have anybody else.
I like Patrick Taylor more than I
like Patrick Taylor more too.
I actually don't hate. I have no ill will towards Patrick Taylor. Winfrey, I was always kind of like, yeah, this guy again.
Winfrey was always like a baller in the preseason. And then it's like, all right, Juwan Winfrey's got a chance. We got guys out this week. Like, this could be the Winfrey week. And then it's like 1 catch for 4 yards. Cool.
I think that's what did it for me is, because he did do so good in preseason. And when he was in the real game, it was just kind of like, oh, you one of them, huh? You an open gym hooper, huh? All right. When we get to the game, you ain't shit, huh?
All right, Jake, what stood out to you from the defense?
All right, I got 3 things. So I'm going to put them in order how I have them in my head. So first I'm going to talk about the return of Devondre Campbell. I think a lot of people are, kind of just brushing over that. I think it was important to have him back. I mean, he led the team in tackles, 10 total, 6 solo, and he was very, very sound.
David said he's like Fields, good against 4th stringers.
I wonder if the game is still slow for him. That's all I wonder. I feel like Campbell allowed Quay to play a little bit more sideline to sideline, and Isaac brought that up in the chat. I think Quay having that being the mic for a few weeks when Campbell was out was good experience for him.
Absolutely.
And I want you guys to remember game experience, because when I talk about my next topic, game experience is going to be a big topic I'm going to talk about. So Quay getting that game experience of being the guy with the headset, it was awesome. Yeah. But I think him going back to his role, because he's going to be back in that role next year with Devondre Campbell. Devondre's still going to be the guy with the headset. He's the veteran. Yep. And I absolutely am okay with that. Allowed him a little bit more freedom, and I think he saw the game a little bit faster. And
I think with that, wearing the mic, that now that he's not wearing it, he's at least got in the back of his head, like this is what the coaches are looking for from the linebackers, even though he's not communicating with them from every play. So that's where you bring up that experience and just knowing like how the coaches and the coordinators are thinking while the players are on the field. I do think that is something that can help him develop.
Agreed. And the reason I wanted to talk about Campbell is because I saw a lot of people talking shit after that Fields run. And it's like they filled their gaps perfectly if you actually watch the play. It was just, and we talked about this on Wednesday, Tyler. We can give credit to the other team.
Right.
And Simon brought it up last week talking about the Bears' O-line is actually pretty good. I mean, you don't just run for those many yards for no fucking reason. It's not just Justin Fields breaking tackles and running past everybody. The O-line is doing something. So I think they blocked that play perfectly. They filled the holes. They blocked that play perfectly. Nixon missed the tackle. It happens.
I wanted to talk about open field tackling.
It happens. Yeah, open field tackling was very important in the first half of this game. The Bears were making them. The Packers were not. It is what it is. So the next thing, I talked about in-game playing time, right? I want to talk about Devontae Wyatt. How many times is he going to have under 10 snaps? And we're going to look at the PFF grades, and we're going to see that he was number 1. How many times are we going to see that?
Not anymore this season, I don't think. I
think the thing that's most frustrating for me, because, again, he was the highest-rated defender at 87.7. The thing that most frustrates me is I feel like they're treating him like they treated Kenny Clark. And that's not a bad thing to develop your players. But when this guy's 24 compared to what Clark was his rookie year at 20 years old, you don't have time to do that.
Let me put this to you. I think this is going to be a 1-season thing because I don't think there's a chance that Jaron Reed is back next year.
I don't think so either.
No, he's not back.
And Lowry restructured, so Lowry's probably back. But I think next year we're going to be looking at a starting lineup of Lowry, Kenny, and Wyatt with Slayton as the 2 primary fill-ins.
Well, see, David, that's the argument.
That's I was just gonna say that. Like, it seems like every time he's on the field,
he does something to make an impact.
He makes a really flashy play. And while we understand that he's still a rookie and that's pretty unsustainable, maybe I mean, I'm sure the coaches know what they're doing,
So
right?
okay,
I would just like to
say
double
this.
his snap count. That's all I'm
That's
asking
what
for.
we're gonna say. Like, we're not asking for Wyatt to take all of Reed's snaps and for Reed to
Right.
play 10 snaps a game. Like, just kind of increasing gradually. Like,
Yep.
say Monday night, say instead of 10 snaps, play him 15, 17.
17 is literally my sweet spot because I saw him make a freaking play on 3rd and short, swim right over the guard and make the tackle. And I was like, our run defense is horrible. We need impact players up front. Why the fuck is this guy not playing more than 9 snaps if he's making tackle in short yardage situations? I mean, that's really a thought I had in my head because you got a run first team. We are a horrible run defense. I mean, shit, I got some stats. You guys ready for some stats? Because
I do like stats.
This is bad, bro. You won't like these stats. I'll tell you that. Yikes. So I got this from SB Nation. They read a lot of good articles. If
They're a branch of USA Today, in case you didn't know that.
Yeah, they're good. The Packers have struggled on defense this year, particularly in the run game. They've allowed 109 first downs on the ground under defensive coordinator Joe Barry, which leads the league. They also have conceded 2,012 rushing yards, second most, 5 yards per carry, fourth most, and 15 rushing touchdowns, fifth most.
Who has more, Houston?
Huh? I don't know.
Houston?
I don't know. I
Houston,
just
Chicago,
got that from
on there. Indianapolis, maybe.
Yeah, I just got that from a section of their article, which was very well written. And
damn, 5 yards a carry.
5 yards a carry, 2,000 rush yards. They go up the 5th most rushing touchdowns, the most rushing first downs. And you have a guy out there that can make a play on, short yardage situations, and you're only playing them 9 snaps. I mean, come on.
I agree with David too, that if he wasn't fresh, it wouldn't have happened at that high of a rate.
Yeah.
Like, I do think that matters, but I think with the Slaytons and Wyatt, that I think you can rotate them a little more often so that you keep guys fresh. I think I brought that up actually like a month ago, just to bring him in, keep him fresh, and tell him to go 175% every time that he's in, and just play him a few plays per series.
Yeah, I mean that's really all I have on him. I mean, going into next season, I'm comparing him to Kenny because he's a first-round pick, just like Kenny. And I talked about Kenny last week and said, I don't know why we're not moving him around. I believe Wyatt is a guy, just like Slayton. We could put him right in the middle. We can put him on the end. And we could put Kenny on the end or in the middle. And we can really mix some shit up, mix some looks up. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I just wish he would play more because I think he has flash ability.
So opponent rushing first downs per game, this is actually going to kind of tie into one of my things, is Detroit, Houston, Chicago, then Green Bay, and opponent first downs rushing. Rushing yards per game. Packers are, flip it, third. Houston and Seattle give up more rushing yards per game.
Interesting.
And then let's do opponent rushing touchdowns per game. Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, Seattle, Houston, Atlanta, and then Green Bay.
Sick.
I don't want to be mentioned in that breath anymore. I'm so sick and tired of having a bad run defense. It's so annoying. So annoying.
Isaac asked, do you think we invite Leonard for a DC interview after the season?
No. I don't think he's coming to Green Bay. I think his opportunity was in 2019. He didn't take it then. He's not taking it now. I really feel that way.
Honestly, and this is Wisconsin related. This is Jim Leonard related, not anything with the Packers. I seriously think Jim Leonard is going to take the year off.
Yep, I 100% agree with that. He's just going to clear his head.
And I think he's going to wait for a job to open up where he's like, that's the job I want. I don't think he's going to take a job to take a job. So I think he's actually going to take 2023 off, if I'm being honest. I think that's what he's going to do.
I agree with that.
All right. So, like I said, go ahead. You got one more?
I got one more. I wanted to talk about special teams. And a positive note.
We do special teams last?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Special teams is its own facet. So I want to stick with defense just because we brought up the rushing, and I want to bring up third downs. Because the Bears were 6 of 11 on third down. They converted them pretty well. I want to give Cole Kmet some credit. The Packers played 100% zone in this game.
Yeah, that's crazy.
100%. And we brought this up when they played Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen, that they play a lot of zone against rushing quarterbacks so that their back isn't to the quarterback. So 100% zone. I wanted to give Cole Kmet credit for finding the holes in the zone twice. He had 2 of their 6 third down conversions. So that's a good step by him to go find those soft spots. I give him credit for that. The other thing, kind of touched on it a little bit already, was the open field tackling. Guys are in the right spots. You just got to make tackles. And it comes down to wrapping up and not trying to make arm tackles. That was a big problem a lot in 2020. Last year was a lot better, and I was happy about that, but now we're kind of back. So, it seems that years where we have terrible tackling and tons of missed tackles, that's what gets defensive coordinators fired, even if guys are in the right spots at the right time. Because, we have 2 years of Joe Barry. 1 year of really good tackling, 1 year of really bad tackling. Which one do you decide as the outlier? Obviously, the trend is not going in the right direction. But you look at it, like I said, 2020, the Packers were not a good tackling team, and there was too many arm tackles. Too many guys just trying to stick an arm out thinking that's going to slow down a guy like David Montgomery. We know it's not. We saw it happen in week 2. I think he had 9 broken tackles. So Aaron Jones had 8, so that was cool. But it's gotta be better. Joe Barry, in my opinion, has a 4-game audition for his job. And then after that, we'll see if they do something different at defensive coordinator. But the way I'm looking at it right now is that he's kind of on the fence about whether the Packers are going to keep him or not. And we're looking at some pretty good offenses, because we're looking at the Rams, who just came back to win last night. Look at the Dolphins. That is a crazy offense. Looking at the Vikings, that's a pretty good offense. And the Lions actually have a sneaky good offense. So David thinks 2021 is the outlier. It's so hard because we've had, 3 different defensive coordinators in the last 5 years?
Yep.
Man. Defensive coordinator position in Green Bay is like the offensive coordinator position for the Wisconsin Badgers, where we just couldn't figure it out for how long. And now I feel like they actually do have the guy now. I'm very excited about that. But hopefully the Packers figure out the D coordinator shit, because damn, man. Yeah.
All right. Jake, go ahead. Talk about special teams.
So I picked special teams because I wanted to talk about something positive. I want to talk about special teams positively. And
don't do
Simon,
it. That is refreshing.
That's refreshing.
Simon maybe used my stat too early for it, but still impressive nonetheless. Give a shout out to Mason. A lot of scrutiny. I don't think he can walk up and just hit 54 yarders on a regular basis anymore. No. Do I still think he has the capability? Yes, I do. But he was 2 for 2 in this game. They were both massive. He made both his extra points, because that's important now, because extra points are moved back. And we needed all the points. And I wanted to point out, we blocked a field goal. I know we said that before, but holy shit, we blocked a field goal. I bet it's been
at least a decade.
Bro, you know how good that felt
to
see that? And then it wasn't us getting blocked. I was like, holy shit, we blocked it. Oh my God. Like, it was crazy. And then also Nixon. That guy's he's a star on special teams. Like, straight up, how we feel about Watson on offense. Just get the ball in his hands and he's electric. That's how I feel about Nixon. Like, when we get the ball kicked to us, I'm like, all right, here we go. He can break this one, man. He might go all the way. And so he just gets himself in weird situations, man. Like, there's like 6 people right here. He's just like, I'll just go over here and just run around everybody. It's like, I don't know how you saw that, but great job, man. I just wanted to give a shout out to special teams, man, because they've been really, really good the last couple of weeks, I think, at least. And they're trending up.
All right. Anything else you guys want to say about the Packers-Bears game before we talk about Christian Watson some more?
No. Simon, you should talk about that Rodgers quote that you just shared with us not too long ago. That's what I think. That's a great quote.
Oh, the one about him contributing to. Okay.
Yeah.
So the quote was, "It means a lot. We flipped the all-time series, flipped the all-time wins for the NFL, He said, "I have a lot of success against. I've had a lot of success against him. So I think a few years look back. A few years, oof, man, you look back and you feel pretty good about your contributions to the rivalry. I just love it, man. You think
Rodgers
how
has done his
dominant
part.
he's been.
25 and
He
5 under
dominated the Bears in his career, and I don't even care how it ends. I don't care if he comes back next year, and I mean it's not going to happen. But the
He
Bears
could get
sweep
swept
him.
next year and lose
Yeah.
25 and still be 25-7.
Like you think about how dominant he's been over the years. And what is it, like 64 touchdowns and like 7 interceptions or something?
64 and 10.
10. That's so nasty.
If you take a step back and you really look at all the stats and the wins, and you get, if you Google like the Packers versus Bears series, and like you're on the Packers side and you see all the green, you're just like, yeah, I'd hate that motherfucker too.
Yeah, 8 straight wins against the Bears for the Packers.
And what was a crazy thing I saw? The Bears had like a 34-game lead in 92.
And then
or
you know what happened?
Something along those lines.
I was born, and I'm the Packers' good luck charm.
Nope.
That's what happened.
This happened, and then this happened.
Yeah.
True that.
So it's just, and you think about how cool some of those games have been too. Like the Rodgers 6 touchdowns and a half, him coming back from the knee injury.
Comeback from the knee injury.
Dude, that was such a sick game.
He dropped a dime to Geronimo Allison on one fucking leg, bro. That's one of my favorite plays.
Or the playoff game. It's Randall Cobb again.
Yeah.
It's Randall Cobb again game.
Oh,
and we had the 4th and 8 to Randall Cobb. Cobb, touchdown! Like,
I
just
thinking back to some of
in motion is what that is.
Some of those games is just, it's so memorable.
One of his touchdowns that didn't count, which still to this day
Adams one,
his best touchdown. Yeah, where he dodged 7 people.
That throw.
Dude, he dodged so many people and threw a dot over 2 humans while jumping in the air. Are you fucking serious right now?
Yeah,
what?
That's probably one of my favorite throws of his career. To be honest,
ever. That's the best one he's ever made.
I love the one to, and I was having this conversation with someone in the off season. Someone was like, "Rodgers doesn't have that many memorable throws," and I was like, like 20 in a row. I was like, the one that I love this in Jacksonville. Back in like 2015,
when he's getting pulled down and
when he just like goes like it just flicks it. Dude, that is honestly, that's probably my favorite throw of his. Like, I don't know any other quarterback that can make a throw like that.
The throw in Detroit to win the game, the walk-off touchdown, like that throw was nuts.
Yeah.
But
I'm not knocking the throw because
it's so hard to like just pick.
Yeah. The fucking Cardinals playoff game, that series,
dude, he was falling backwards.
Janis.
Oh my god!
The fact that Jeff Janis went and got that touchdown still blows my mind. Bro, he went over Patrick Peterson and a safety.
Bro, prime Pat Pete. People forget about that. Prime Pat Pete, and we had our 5th wide receiver out there, and then we get comments like, "Did Tay make Rodgers?" No. Shut up. Please.
The touchdown to Greg Jennings in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, or the third down pickup.
Oh yeah, that was a good one too.
It went right over the fingertips. Was that Polamalu?
Yeah, it was Polamalu.
I think it was Polamalu.
Right over, and Polamalu's a fucking Hall of Famer. Maybe the best safety I've ever seen. Him or Ed Reed, in my opinion.
I'd put him 3rd. I'd put Ed Reed and Brian Dawkins above him.
Put Dawkins above him?
Dude, Brian Dawkins is a GOAT.
Listen, I feel like Brian Dawkins is
Ed Reed's the GOAT
because he was cool looking and he had giant muscles and he'd run around and knock your face off. But in terms of like playing football, I think Polamalu is more instinctive.
I mean, I'm not mad at it.
I think Polamalu is just a little bit. I don't know.
You think he's overrated?
No. That's not what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay. I was trying to guess. I was like, whoa.
I was gonna say he made some really flashy plays that I feel like. I don't know. That's a tough one. It's hard to argue safety.
That could be a good offseason topic, is to try to pick our top 10 Aaron Rodgers throws.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Hold on. I want Simon to see this. I want to get him to say facetious. All right. I'm gonna start the show next week with him saying facetious.
You should
Tim
do
brought
like
up a good
you
point,
should
too,
do like
that
a
the
game
Bears had a
show
big
thing.
Head start on the Packers as well, actually.
You
So
should do
that's
like a
good
game
point as
show
well.
thing out of it and be like, all right, we're all gonna pronounce a really difficult word, and you just flash Brian that word.
Don't do
Yeah.
names because Tyler is good at names. Tyler's really good at names, dude.
Tyler practices at home.
That's why
All
Tyler's
right.
good at names.
Let's talk Christian Watson, where he stands in the Rookie of the Year. There's no preview today because the Packers are on their bye week. See, David agrees with me. The Lions game winner bomb. I'm gonna go first. I let you guys
I'm
talk
fine with
first.
that.
I'm gonna talk first because I got some
Go
good
ahead,
stuff.
go ahead.
Go for it.
So, I mentioned before, Alan Lazard's 41 out of 45 catches of his resulted in a touchdown or first down. Christian Watson has 25 catches on the season, 17 first downs and 7 touchdowns.
Oh my god.
24 out of 25 plays to him have resulted in a first down or touchdown.
This is the reaction that you should get.
That is
Now I wanna go find the play where he didn't get it.
Yeah.
He had one catch that was like a 9-yard catch on a.
Was it like an out route?
Well, yes,
Nope, I think I remember.
I think
he was like 1 yard short of the sticks and he got tackled.
Yeah, I think I remember.
It was like a 9-yard gain on like a 2nd and 10. All right.
all right, I'm gonna go
Holy
find it.
Fuck.
So he only has one catch that didn't result in a score or moving the sticks, and he has 2 rushing touchdowns. Now he is 6th in receiving yards, despite having 2 or 3 fewer games than all 5 of the guys above him. And listen to this. This is the difference in targets of all the guys above him.
Oh, it's bad.
So 5th place has 20 more targets. 4th place has 21 more targets. 3rd place has 40 more targets. 2nd place has 53 more targets. And the 1st place in yards is Chris Olave. He has 57 more targets than Christian Watson.
Now, I wrote down targets as well. You take those targets, even half of those, he has more yards and touchdowns easily.
Let me tell you why. Christian Watson has a higher yards per reception than all 5 of the guys above him.
Yeah, I believe that.
Oh, it's
Now, Christian Watson is also 1st in touchdowns. He's got a 2-touchdown lead on Jahan Dotson, a 3-touchdown lead on Garrett Wilson, a 4-touchdown Chris Olave, and none of them have any rushing touchdowns. So, if you want to put him in the conversation for Rookie of the Year, I'm fine with it. Personally, I'm gonna let you guys talk about where you think he's at before we give our rankings, and then we'll do rankings at the end. But Christian Watson's got a case. It's going to come down to the last 4 games, but over the last 4, he's got a case to be made. Simon, what do you think about Christian Watson's case for Rookie of the Year?
I think right now it's difficult as far as him actually winning Rookie of the Year or being in the race.
I would say being in the race because right now.
Oh, I think he's
games.
in the race, like you said. It's going to come down to the last 4 games. He missed a lot of time. There's a couple games and where he went out a little bit early. But yeah, I would say right now he's definitely not at the top. But I think he's top 5, and you start thinking about it really hard at this point.
If he has anything remotely close in his next 4 games as he's had in the previous 4, I don't see how you can not give it to him.
I agree.
Or if he ends up scoring 16 touchdowns in the last 8 weeks of the season, I don't see how you could not give him.
I would. You know how hard I would just crap on everyone too.
The apology form wouldn't have Christian Watson on anymore. It would have the Rookie of the Year apology form. That's what.
Yeah, for real.
I would. Yeah.
All right, Jake.
But I mean, that's just unforeseeable, right?
Right, and that's
if he scored,
it's just a conversation.
It's not something I would bet on. That's for sure. But I would think if
I was in Vegas, I might throw a 20 on it. If I'm
I'd throw some money on it. I would.
But
All right, Jake, what are you thinking?
So you went over all the stats, right? So I'll go over what Caesar Sportsbook. I feel that that's the one that I trust the most, especially when I go out to Vegas and I do my betting. I look my shit up on there, right? Right now, as the rankings go on Caesar Sportsbook, Garrett Wilson is first in odds, plus 210.
Really?
Yes.
Hmm.
I believe
Tied
that.
for second is Walker from the Seahawks and Watson. Well, Walker has 9 touchdowns.
I get it. I understand. I have it written down.
He has a 4.7 yard average, and he has 19 receptions on top of 650 yards. So he's been playing pretty good. So right now, they're Watson and Walker are plus 230, tied for second. Third is Olave at plus 450. So what that tells me is it's a 3-man race. If Christian Watson scores even 1 touchdown a game, and one thing that I want to talk about before I did this, Wilson and Olave have 3 100-yard games receiving. Watson has 2. So he's close in that remark. And he's blowing them out of the water in touchdowns. You can combine their touchdowns, and it equals his
He's
receiving
still got
touchdowns.
2 more.
And he has 2 rushing. Exactly. So if I was to make a case for Christian Watson, and with Walker being banged up right now, if he scores 1 touchdown and say he has 2 100-yard games, and say Olave and Wilson only have 1, and he ties them and he blows them out of the water in touchdowns, I think he's going to walk away with it. I really do. It'd be hard for me not to give it to him. He doesn't even have to have 2 touchdown games, just 1.
Right. I'm surprised that Walker is number 1 because I personally would switch him at number 4. I have Walker at number 4.
Really?
Yes. He's banged up as part of it. He's got 765 total yards.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you get to third. I have Christian Watson at third. He's got the 9 touchdowns, and then I have Olave and Watson tied at second. Olave's got the yards, and he has 1 fewer touchdown than Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson is also on a better team, so he's got that going for him. If the Packers find a way into the playoffs, and Christian Watson is even just 1 touchdown and 75 yards a game over the last 4 games, and you're looking at Rookie of the Year, like he gets the edge over Olave in that aspect, because the Saints are, I mean, they technically still have a chance to make it because their division is awful, but
True.
I don't think the Saints are making the playoffs. If the Packers find a way to make the playoffs and Christian Watson was the catalyst of them winning a bunch of games, I don't see how you can not give it to him for that. And then number 1, I'm really surprised that he's not getting a lot of love. I have Dameon Pierce number 1, actually.
Really?
Dameon Pierce currently would be my pick for Rookie of the Year. He has 1,000 yards rushing on a fucking horrible team and still 6 touchdowns.
That's fair.
So personally, I would switch Kenneth Walker and Dameon Pierce because out of the garbage heap that is the Houston Texans, like Dameon Pierce has been pretty damn good.
Well, yeah, that team's horrible. That's all I'm gonna say, I guess.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
All right, Simon, give me your rankings. How would you rank them right now?
I do. Okay. Does he have 1,000 yards?
He's got 1,000 yards.
Really?
That's actually impressive.
He's at like
I
barely over 1,000. He's at
I
like
was gonna
1049.
I was gonna say last time I looked, he had like 800 or something. I don't know. Maybe it's been a couple games, probably. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah. So, I guess going into last week is when I was really thinking about it.
David said more smoke just happened. That's what happens when Simon
I know.
thinks.
It does. It does. I think about too much shit. Yeah, that's tough. Now that I'm really bad at this. Yeah, I would.
Bacon?
Huh?
I asked Jake if he smells bacon.
Yeah, I do.
I would love
That's why he wears those big old headphones to keep all the smoke in.
That keeps the hamster in there that's running.
Yeah,
the
it has a filtration system that goes out back.
Yeah, we all have one of those. Sorry.
It's it's tough because I really liked Kenneth Walker too.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll go. I have Christian Watson at 5 right now. I think.
Oh my goodness.
What?
You
don't
guys
like
are
that?
some haters, bro.
I'm not even hating that. Just
Third.
dude, he just missed too
David,
much time.
Olave, Pierce, Walker, Watson. I would
All right.
switch Walker and Wilson.
Okay. Apparently, I'm a homer, but I'm gonna let you finish.
Well, I'm not. Dude, okay, so here's the way I'll put this: if Watson has 3 touchdowns and ends up with 300 or 400 yards receiving, I would probably choose him as rookie of the year. I think that's just too much dominance, even in such a short amount of time. And Dameon Pierce does have some rough matchups coming up. He plays Dallas this week, and I just think they're going to eat him alive because that team. Davis Mills is also starting, and like you said, Nico Collins and Brandon Cooks are both going to be out. I think he's just going to have such a garbage game. I do like Garrett Wilson. He's been pretty consistent throughout the year.
David brought up a good point too, with really inconsistent quarterback play. He's had 3 different starting quarterbacks this year.
You can make an argument for Watson having inconsistent quarterback play, though. Broken thumb. I mean, that's an argument you can make.
And you could also argue,
but nobody's really going to look at it like that.
Yeah, they should. That's how it kind of works.
Everyone's going to be like, he had Aaron Rodgers, and that's just the truth.
That's fair.
That's just the truth. Okay, so currently I have Watson, and then I have Walker, and then I have Dameon Pierce, and then Wilson, or Olave and Wilson.
Wilson won? Okay.
Yeah. I just think he's been super consistent
change
this year.
over the next 5 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's still a lot of a ball left to be played. And like I said, if Watson continues his dominance and has 400 or so, or 350, 400 yards receiving and at least 3 touchdowns, I just don't think you can kind of scoff at that unless someone else has an equally as dominant part, which none of the other rookies have been as dominant as Watson has the last 4 weeks or in a 4-week period even. Right. So I think there's an opportunity.
Yep, I agree.
Okay. So I don't even have Pierce on my list.
Really?
Shame on you.
Okay. Yeah, this is my argument for Pierce. That team's horrible, right?
Yeah.
So all those yards, empty. We talk about garbage time stats all the time, right? With Kirk Cousins, and
he's got
garbage stats
too.
All right, but here, okay. So argument against that. How do you have garbage time stats on a garbage team?
So okay, it's just
like as a running back.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'm going to make a basketball analogy. There's been horrible teams. Somebody has to score the fucking ball, right? Somebody has to get the goddamn ball. He's the only playmaker on that team outside of Brandon Cooks. Just hand him the ball 25, 30 times a game, throw it to him a couple times. Dude, he's going to put up stats. I think his stats are he doesn't even make – he's a good player. I'm not taking that away from him. But for me, the 4 players I have ahead of him are better this year.
He has less than 200 carries.
But how many receptions does he have as well?
19, I think.
I just saw it. Yeah, it was like 19 or something.
I'm pulling it up right now.
He's definitely not, because I have him in a dynasty league, and he's definitely not like a huge PPR guy.
He only has 10 receptions. Oh no, it's in the last 5 games. Sorry.
Oh, okay. He has 30 receptions.
He's got 30 receptions.
Yep.
So and only 1 receiving touchdown though.
Yep.
And how many rushing touchdowns?
1,026.
He has 3 rushing touchdowns. Or 5.
So he has 4 touchdowns.
He
has 4 total.
1 receiving.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm interested in who you have over him.
Okay. So my number 4, I have Chris Olave.
Okay.
I just don't feel his impact is as big. And when I talk about awards, I want guys that actually make an impact. Like MVP, I want that guy
to wins.
I want that guy to be the best player, the most valuable player in the NFL, and he means the most to winning, right? So then number 3, I have Garrett Wilson. And David kind of made me rethink some things, but this is what I have on the paper. I think Wilson's been fantastic, honestly, for the situation that he's had at quarterback. And they were kind of a run-first team at first, and then
They've ran through like
Brees
4
Hall's the
teams.
guy we could be talking about at this point if he never got hurt.
Yeah,
Nobody
That's
brought that
sad
up.
because I think
That
he
is
was
a
going to
bummer.
run away
He
with
was
it. I
doing-
think he was going to run away with
he
the
was
award.
doing great.
intended or
Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
At number 2, I have Christian Watson. Just basically for sheer fucking dominance. And this Packers offense looks evolved with a speed guy. Think of that. Think of the 180 this offense took when they got speed on the field.
But we could have kept MVS.
No, he would not make an impact like Watson. Now, I was an MVS guy.
I don't think you could have rolled your eyes any harder than you just did.
I was an
you're lucky
MVS
you're in
guy.
a different state, or I would drive to your house and smack you just for
And-
bringing that name up.
And number 1, I have Walker. I have Kenneth Walker as my number 1 guy, my lead horse guy right now. Now hold on. People were writing off Geno Smith, right? And now people are throwing flowers at Geno Smith. And we talked
He
about
deserves it.
yes. Now hang on. We talked about the impact that run game and play action game can have for an offense. Having a dominant running back like Walker, he has 9 rushing touchdowns. He was not
Christian
supposed
Watson
to do
has
that.
9 touchdowns too.
I know, but nobody was talking good about the Seahawks team, and now they're in playoff position. And I think a lot of it is because they have a dominant run game now. No, name one offensive lineman on the Seahawks right now.
They picked up 2 rookies, Abraham Lucas and Cross. I forget his name. Charles Cross.
You motherfucker. Charles Cross is the only one I know on that offensive line. He's the only one I know.
I know some things.
That was very
He didn't
good.
even have any smoke come out of his ears on that.
That's because I remember talking about him during the draft.
Yeah, Tim,
We're
we'll
talking
be
about
watching the
tackles.
game in a second here.
Yep.
I also guessed that Charles Cross was going to the Seahawks.
Yeah, you
Attaboy.
did.
I guess that
actually
Romeo
did.
Dobbs was coming to the Packers.
Yeah, let's go.
And Christian Watson. I had him number 5.
But other than that,
I'm framing my notes on that I had him as the number 5 receiver coming into the draft.
I think it's 7. We talked about this last week, didn't we?
We
you
did.
did.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bring it up again just because it makes me sound good.
I was really low on him, so shame on me. But it is what it
Hey,
is.
we like being wrong about stuff like that, though.
It
If
happens.
it works in our benefit, yes.
Yes.
It is what it is, man. We just made really when we do draft prep, I feel like it's a lot of eye test.
And it's a lot of personal
Yeah.
preference, too.
Yeah.
True.
Like I had Garrett Wilson as the number 1.
I forgot who I had. Who the hell did I tell
I
you
also
guys?
had Garrett Wilson number 1.
I did not have Garrett Wilson. Oh, I had Chris Olave as my number 1, and now he's below Garrett Wilson in my rookie of the year. So look at me.
Yeah, don't listen to Jake, especially when it comes to draft prep.
Yeah, fuck this guy. You know.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else you guys want to throw out there about the Bears game, about Christian Watson, anything Packers related this week? The Packers are on a bye, so there's not a preview this week. Is there anything else you guys want to throw out there?
Fuck the Bears.
Oh, true.
Oh, naturally.
I was gonna say, I think this. I know it's always great to see a bye week. It'll be good to see Romeo Dobbs come back. I think this gives
I'm so
this gives
excited that
another.
it's a game, and it's going to be Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs.
I'm fucking pumped, man. I'm gonna be crying on Tuesday morning because it's so late, but it'd be like that. So
Happy tears.
Fuck
Happy
it.
tears.
happy tears. But yeah, I'm excited. And this gives Rodgers a little bit more time to heal too from his nicks.
Well, he said actually in his interview, he said that he expects the thumb to be a non-issue after the bye.
I'm all for it. Oh, one thing I wanted to ask: do you guys put much thought into that Jason Wilde story about Rodgers and Love?
I didn't see it.
It was the thing JR posted in the chat. It was like there are expectations that if Jordan Love
would request a trade.
Yeah, he would request a trade if he was asked to sit again next year.
I don't
know.
blame him.
So I normally scoff at stuff like that, but I like Jason Wilde, and I think a lot of the stuff that comes out, he's really good about.
I think if there's a deal that you're comfortable
Schefter, take
with,
notes.
that you could do it.
A trade
I wouldn't trade him
or
for the sake of trading him, but if there's a deal that you're comfortable with, and say it's the 4th round and the Packers, pick up a quarterback that they like that can back up Aaron Rodgers. Say they sign a guy like, this is an interesting thing I think they should consider. I think he's going to end up getting picked up by, I don't remember what team I saw he was going to get picked up by. But maybe bringing in Carson Strong Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah.
is
He's
quarterback
a
in
he's
Nevada.
a free agent now. No,
He's gonna. I saw a thing last week that he's gonna sign a futures deal with somebody. But if there's a guy out there that you either get in the draft or from free agency of some way, shape, or form that you feel comfortable moving on from Jordan Love, and there's a deal out there that you feel is a fair deal for both you and Jordan Love, like I'm okay with it. I'd like to see him get his chance, but not in 2023. Sorry.
I know this is like off-season talk, right? And I'm not trying to get too far into it.
And
But
David
I
asked
think
us
if
for the
I
final
think
part
if
of the season predictions as well.
right, and we'll kind of come back to this too.
Yeah.
If the Packers take anything less than a first for him, they're gonna get shit on hard.
I would take a second rounder for him.
I would take a second rounder for him too. Yeah. He's still improving.
Right.
And this is why
that's true too.
This is why I was getting on Bears fans, because they're like, I want to lose. And like we said, there's no fucking guarantee that guy's going to be good just because you draft high. Just because he was a first-round pick, that doesn't guarantee that Jordan Love's going to be good. He was horrible his first couple of years. His mechanics
I agree.
timing.
I've seen way too much improvement, in my opinion, just from what I've seen, the little that he's played, that I think Green Bay is going to ask for more than what you guys are saying.
Oh, they're definitely going to ask for more.
Well, they're going to ask. Oh, yeah.
And if I had my personal preference, I would keep him, because I think next year is Rodgers' last year. I've always felt that in my heart. Like when he signed, I was like, we get 2 more years of Aaron, so let's go fucking get one.
I honestly want them to figure out a way to make it work.
I agree.
Like I want to be right about Love so bad.
Oh yeah, me too. I mean,
I want to put out a Love apology for him. I will make it.
It's in the to-do list. All right, rapid fire. Give me last 4 games of the season predictions. Jake, go.
What do we got? We got the
4-0, baby. 4-0, baby. We play the Rams, Dolphins,
Vikings.
Lions.
Is it in Miami?
Yes,
I don't.
And it's on Christmas Day, so.
Ugh.
Yes, and I believe it's a nightcap game. I believe it's a nightcap.
Cool.
I can double check, but
I'm gonna say 3-1.
I'm also gonna say 4-0 because we can't settle for anything less. So.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm cheering for 4-0, but I think
we're all cheering for 4-0. But
when Rodgers says that his thumb's a non-issue, and we're getting Romeo Dobbs back, it's go time. It's go time.
Yeah, like I said, and I'm saying 4-0 because we can't settle for anything less. And LaFleur talked about it that the losing on purpose hasn't even crossed their mind. So I'm ready to do it.
Bears take notes.
We are the noon game on Christmas.
Oh, okay.
So nice. I get to open presents. My family's going to leave to go by her mom's house, and I got to watch the Packer game in peace. Let's fucking go.
Sick,
we got to win now. We got to win now, dude. And then the Bucks play at 4. So right after the Packers win.
Nice.
After the Packers win, we get to watch the Bucks beat the Celtics. Oh. Yeah. And I have the next day off. Dude, can't wait for Christmas. Let's go.
Nice. David, I think they can. Simon's about to get robbed on camera. So.
Probably. Just record this.
I think they can stop Miami. Whether or not they will obviously be seen in a couple weeks.
They just got to pressure to speed his clock up, but that's just how I would beat them. Obviously, you're not going to stick with the speed. We're going to play a lot of zone that game, so we might get killed.
All right. Well, we will see you guys next Friday. We'll have some preview for Packers and Rams, the game that I will be at. So I will see you guys next week.
All right. Later, brother.
Later.